Welcome to the 2015-2016 NBA preview. My name is Josh, your interviewers, and today we're going to be covering the 25th ranked team, the Portland Trail Blazers. Today, I'm with my co-host.
Yo, it's Lo, the one and only legend of winning. But before we get into too deep into this list is not my list. I helped them on
It's partially your list.
It's partially hit my list, but I would not have the Blazers this high. But if you don't know enviers or you don't know Josh, you're gonna soon get to know him by the end of this video.
What the Portland Trail Blazers did leading up to this current season. Well, the Blazers have had some bad luck with injuries, such as drafting Greg Oden, unfortunately Brandon Roy's knees, and then LaMarcus eventually just being unhappy with this team, Wesley Matthews tearing his Achilles. It fell apart last season. It really did. A first round exit against the Memphis Grizzlies.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm disappointed in LaMarcus Aldridge without sticking it out, because he is getting older and he needs to move on. But most definitely, this team had huge potential in the mid 2000s, and looking at them now, it's kind of sad.
Dame got his max contract. He's starting to rap a lot more, spitting hot fire.
True.
You know, if only his Blazers team could do as good as he's rapping this season. You know, fingers crossed that his team does well, but it's going to be a tough season if you're a Blazers fan. Now, moving on to the summer acquisitions by the Portland Trail Blazers, let's see what they acquired. They acquired Gerald Henderson, Noah Vonleh from the Charlotte Hornets, along with Mason Plumlee, and a solid trip to the lottery.
Gerald Henderson is fine. I like Noah Vonleh as well. Young player, young talent. It's crazy.
You like the trip to the lottery?
Trip to the lottery that's most definitely what's being highlighted. And the thing about this team is they've kind of, through transactions on the offseason and trades, they've kind of filled up a lot of major positions. So when they go to the lottery, they'll have a clear-cut understanding of what
they failed at signing Enes Kanter. They failed at signing Matthew Dellavedova. But overall, I feel like what they acquired is yeah, I know they were reaching at one point, especially with Enes Kanter, when they have a plethora of big men. Now, if we take a look at what they lost, obviously, LaMarcus Aldridge went to the Spurs. Happy for him. Wesley Matthews, Nicholas Batum, Robin Lopez, and basically the entirety of their team. Now, if we take a look at who they drafted Pat Connaughton at number 40. Originally, they drafted Hollis Jefferson in the first round, but then they traded down. They got rid of Steve Blake as well. So, overall, Pat Connaughton's a great shooter, very athletic guy, very underrated athletic guy, if I do say so myself. So it's going to be a good fit for the Blazers.
Don't watch too much college, so I don't really know who this guy is at all.
He's one of those guys where he was drafted to the MLB and the NBA and chose the NBA. Well, so pretty interesting fact there.
He's not making too many good career decisions, because if I'm not mistaken, MLB players get paid more than NBA players. So I don't.
Let him live, man. Let him live.
Okay.
Moving on to the rotation, we have the starters: Mason Plumlee, Ed Davis, Al-Farouq Aminu, C.J. McCollum, and Damian Lillard.
I see with this team, though, even though I like, they have quality players at least in their starting lineup, they're going to have to push the pace and get easy buckets in transition, because Damian Lillard is
and this honestly looks like an out in transition team, and I have a My GM series on that, and that's exactly what this team's built for: running in transition, fast breaks. So hopefully, Terry Stotts can replicate everything I replicated in my GM series.
True. I mean, but it's most definitely an up and down pace team. I like Plumlee and Davis inside, going to get the boards, and Aminu's going to help on the boards as well. So it's a solid starting five again.
Damian Lillard is going to have to shoot lights out, though. Moving on to the bench, we have Myers Leonard, Noah Vonleh, Mo Harkless, C.J. McCollum, and Tim Frazier. Looking at the contracts, especially, a lot of these guys are one-year contracts. I'm assuming this is for a fast rebuild, and hopefully it is a fast rebuild. I'm not saying they're going to sign the biggest free agent this upcoming season, but they could get at least a lot better players for certain roles on the team, and here's hoping they do so.
Again, but before we go on to the next part, if you look at this lineup, like I said with the draft pick, it's obvious if let's just say Ed Davis or Aminu doesn't pan out in the starting position, they try to flip-flop, they could easily pinpoint their weakest position and what they need to fill up really, really quick, because they do really have 4 to 5 solid players that they can interchange throughout the rest of their positioning. So I think that's most definitely the key thing here, is trying to figure out, when we go to the draft, because they are going to go to the draft with a lottery pick, what do we need to draft? That's most definitely my biggest concern with this team and their lineups right now. But moving on to the question, because the question is pretty big, Josh. Because I think a lot of people, when they see how high you have this team ranked,
it's not that high in my opinion.
But that's
they're a lottery team, and this section of the NBA preview are all lottery teams.
But basically, people want to know: is Damian Lillard, is he that guy? Does he have it in him?
He's gonna make the All-Star team,
okay,
of course.
Obviously. I don't know how obvious that is because he didn't make it last year, but I'm assuming
he did.
But I mean, he made it because injuries and people had to get moved out the way for him.
Exactly. He has something to prove now.
So how many points you think he's on average? Last year he averaged 21 points. So what are you looking at this year?
I don't want to put a number on it, but it's not going to decrease. Josh. That's as much as I could say. Especially now that he's the guy, he's gonna have the ball in his hand. He's gonna be taking a lot more of the shots than he already is. His efficiency is probably going to go down, but the points will stay the same or definitely increase. There is no drought in Damian Lillard's points per game.
That's my main issue with Dame. He wasn't necessarily the greatest shooter even when he had LaMarcus Aldridge and Wes Matthews on the same team with him. So the efficiency is going to drop a little bit, and he was shooting 43%. So I can see it teetering around that 40% range. But in the same instance, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I wouldn't have him this high. I am a huge proponent in believing that Damian Lillard is that guy. He has the sauce. He has the juice. People are trying to take his energy away from him, and he's not having that.
A lot of critics.
25
points. A lot of critics.
I'm going to go on a limb and say 25 points. Field goal percentage may not be there, but I think he's a 25, 5-5 player.
So with that said, we're going to wrap this episode up and move into our predictions on what we see the Blazers doing with this team.
Most definitely a lottery pick. A lottery pick team. It is sad that they had to reevaluate and reconstruct and rebuild this team, but I will say this: they're in a situation that other teams aren't in, and they're trying to rebuild around an extremely young, talented point guard.
Fast, especially. Not like the Nuggets, where they have a lot of odd pieces. They only have, I believe, Davis, Aminu, and Lillard really under big contracts.
Yeah.
So this is a fast rebuild team if they do it right, and I hope they do it right.
And I most definitely can see Damian Lillard taking that next step. Even if it's not next year, the year after that, I can really and truly see Damian Lillard being that guy because he's going to have to be that guy. And so I can see him taking that step sooner than later. And that's the reason why I put him at 25 points. But nevertheless, it's still going to be a lottery team.
Damian Lillard's going to prove a lot of people wrong. A lot of critics wrong.
I want you to say 25 points, man. I want you to say
I'm not a numbers guy. Not a numbers guy.
Oh, my God.
All I know is he's not going to do as bad as people project him to be.
All right.
The team is not going to be as bad as, professionals project him to be. The guys from ESPN, the guys that, they live this. I'm ranking him at 25 because I feel like this is a reasonable rank for the Blazers. And who knows? They might even prove us wrong. Me wrong.
All right. As you clearly see, you got a Blazers fan in the house. Oh, man. I hope they do good, man.
So with that said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this episode of the NBA Preview. Be sure to like if you did enjoy, because these episodes do take a long time to edit. A lot of work put into these videos, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you did so.
Yeah, just always... like I always say, just share the video, get word around that this is what we're doing. We're gonna do all 30 teams, so just be patient, and they'll all be out every day, back to back like Drake, and just be on the lookout, share, and always leave a comment and have the open discussion that we have in the comment section below. And we'll see you next video.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye, guys.